Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're far too kind. You could have been anywhere in the world today, but you chose to be here with me and I truly appreciate it. This is CNN Reports on the Cartoon News Network and I'm Rachel Meadows. On part 1 of our discussion on the origin story of Pistol Pete Rollack and his sex money murder gang, we discussed his birth as the son of a street legend with connections to Nicky Barnes and Tupac's stepdad. We explained how an early version of the crew took over the drug market on Cozy Corner in Soundview as teenagers. Pete and the SMM crew eventually spread their operation out of state, making Pete and some of his homeboys millionaires in 1993. By the end of 1994, Pete had murdered street basketball legend / drug dealer like Pee Wee Kirkland, Karlton Hines, bringing him notoriety and celebrity. There's a reason why Nas rapped New York streets where killers will walk like Pistol Pete. Check out part 1 of this series hosted by my brother from another mother, Sean Sanity, if you're unfamiliar with the story. On August 9, 1995, Pete was apprehended for the murder of Karlton Hines based off of a tip that was given to the police by David Twin Mullin's sister. Twin was the second highest ranking member of SMM and Pete's most trusted lieutenant. His sister later recanted her story after Twin allegedly threatened to kill her himself, if she snitched on Pete. Without enough evidence or witness cooperation to bring the murder case to trial, Pete was sentenced to 8 months in jail, which was the mandatory sentence for a gun charge because, of course, Pete was packing when he got picked up by the police. Pistol Pete united his sex money murder gang with Omar OG Max Blood gang in Rikers Island. Before we continue, let me tie up one more loose end. Things were looking really good for SMM before Pete got locked up in the summer of 1995. Twin had recently killed Hassan Campbell's big homie, and SMM's public enemy number 1, a Bronx street legend named B.O. I'm going to give Hassan Campbell a chance to tell everyone another crazy twist to this crazy story.
And then, to even top that off, to find out from the streets that they were saying basically David Mullins, which is the twin from Sex Money Murder, which is my baby mother's brother, was the one who killed my right-hand man.
Oh shit. Did everyone catch that? Twin's sister was about to snitch on Pete until Twin threatened to kill her, right? Hassan Campbell just said that his baby mama is Twin's sister, right? Is Hassan Campbell's baby mama the same sister that was prepared to snitch on Pete? We report. You decide. Hit that like button and subscribe for more street tales from the Cartoon News Network. It's free for you and it helps us out a lot. Anyway, let's get back to our story. The year is now 1996. Pete is back on Rikers Island after 2 weeks on the streets from an 8-month bid on a gun charge. He's turned all of the little niggas in Soundview and Castle Hills projects into soldiers fighting for the United Blood Nation. His best friend and right-hand man is his street boss, but is David Twin Mullins a man that Pete should trust? Twin started fucking Pete's baby mama when Pete was in jail and was still getting a lot of money on the streets using Pete's drug connects. Did Twin deserve to die? Was Pete jealous or was Twin snitching? I'll detail Twin's murder on Thanksgiving Day of '96, then we'll discuss whether the hit was justified or not. Pete was as much of a beast in jail as he was on the streets. While in jail, Pete ordered that 2 sex money murder members, Yaro Pack and TV Dave, be buried quick for snitching about his trips to North Carolina dealing drugs through letters he wrote in blood code. Through one of his letters, Pistol Pete also ordered that the crew dispose of SMM members David Twin Mullins and his twin brother Damon Mullins. Twin was well liked and respected. The crew was divided. Was Twin a snitch or was Pete a hating ass nigga mad that he was sitting in a jail cell while his best friend was fucking his girl? After all, Twin did threaten to kill his sister if she snitched on Pete, right? Pete's little homie Pipe had always kept a good business and personal relationship with Twin. They were still getting money together on the streets while Pete was locked up. Pipe ordered the young bloods aligned with him to stand down. SMM member Andre the Bear Brown beat the shit out of Pipe and robbed him for disobeying Pete. Pipe retaliated and was arrested for attempted murder. He was now in jail with Pete. They weren't locked up in the same housing unit, but Pete let it be known through another incarcerated SMM member nicknamed B-Love that he was pissed off that Pipe had second-guessed his orders. Shortly after Pipe attempted to murder the bear, Brown lost his life under mysterious circumstances. Before Twin's murder, Pipe had also sent a letter to his younger brother Roro questioning Pete's decision because he had committed crimes with both, and Twin's name was not in his paperwork. Ro decided that it was in his best interest to follow Pete's orders instead of his brother. B-Love was released from a short stay at Rikers Island where he could act as a mediator between Pete and Pipe, but when he hit the streets he let his allegiance be known. B-Love refused to give Twin any money that he made from his drug deals. Twin told Suge that he planned to kill B-Love. Other SMM members, like B-Love, followed Pete's orders without question. Bloods took over the jails in New York State penitentiaries, but a blue wave was taking over the streets. SMM member B-Mo had already caught his second body putting in work for another drug dealer from Soundview named Baby J. B-Mo and Suge fell out with Baby J when he started waving a blue flag and claiming that he was a Crip. Deciding to fight against Baby J was a tough decision for Suge because he was one of his big homies, but Pete never liked the nigga, so it was go time. Suge robbed Baby J's workers and attempted to kill him. Green Eyes was fucking one of the chicks that Twin was fucking and told her about the hit on Twin. She told Twin about it and he walked to Soundview Projects to confront B-Love. Afterwards, he brazenly walked his ass back to Castle Hills. Green Eyes, Suge, Pipe's brother Ro, and one of Twin's cousins hopped in a car to try to catch him, but it was too late. Pete's crew then devised a plot to kill Twin. They would do it on Thanksgiving Day at the annual football game between Soundview and Castle Hills. B-Love was tasked with killing Twin's brother Double Mint while Green Eyes and Suge would kill Twin and his bodyguard. Mac 11 would pop some shots in the air to scatter the crowd and create a diversion amidst the chaos. When Twin arrived at the football game, everything seemed cool. Unaware of his allegiance or earlier attempt on his life, Twin even asked Pipe's brother Ro if he wanted to join the Bloods under his leadership. B-Love was scared and didn't show up. Mac 11 was tasked with killing Twin's brother Double Mint instead of shooting shots in the air. As the game was underway, Suge approached Twin and pulled out his gun, but he fumbled it, giving Twin a chance to start running. Simultaneously, Mac 11 hit Twin's brother Double Mint in the back with a shot. Green Eyes emptied the clip into Twin's bodyguard Efron Eman Solar, but he was still alive. So, Green Eyes started pistol whipping him until Mac 11 gave him a headshot. Suge hit Twin with 2 body shots, dropping him, ran to the body, emptied his clip, and then ran to his girl's crib. Mac 11 was the first one arrested after he made the front page of the newspapers. B-Love got picked up next. His dumbass had a letter from Pete ordering Twin's death in his pocket when he was arrested. Suge was moving around carefully because he was wanted by the police, and Twin's brother Double Mint had survived the attack and was now looking for revenge. Suge would get arrested before Double Mint got his chance. Suge would be jailed in the same housing unit as Pete, where Pete was fucking one of the female prison guards. Pete, Suge, and Mac 11 ran their housing unit. They even fought alongside the infamous Clarence Heatley, the Black Hand of Death, who was the leader of the notorious Preacher crew, against the Latin Kings who wanted to beat up Green Eyes for snitching. Pete and his crew weren't having it. Green Eyes would be dealt with, but Bloods would do it, not Latin Kings. Shortly after that, Green Eyes told Suge that snitching on Pete was the only way to save himself. Not only did Suge start to snitch on Pete, he also told police about Baby J and B-Mo. B-Mo was sentenced to 50 years in prison. Now the floodgates were open and everybody and their mama started to snitch. SMM's drug connect Castro was arrested and told 12 about the bounty that he put on B.O.'s head. Yaro Pack and TV Dave took the stand against Pete and entered witness protection. On January 9, 1998, Pete was convicted of conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute cocaine and crack and possessing and using a gun in relation to drug trafficking. He was sentenced to a total of 45 years for the charges. On February 7, a racketeering indictment naming Pete as the mastermind behind the Thanksgiving Day homicides in 1996 was unsealed, which also included a witness tampering charge in relation to the death of Twin. As the trial progressed, SMM members Gorgeous Indian and Green Eyes further cooperated with the government and confessed to their role in the fatal shooting of livery driver Baith Diop. The murder of Baith Diop was already pinned on Eric Glisson and Kathy Watkins, who were wrongly convicted and forced to spend 17 years of their lives in prison for a murder committed by the SMM associates before finally getting their murder convictions overturned in 2012. Gorgeous Indian also confessed to his role as a getaway driver during the 1999 homicide of a man at an auto parts shop in Hunts Point. In '99, Pete was yet again named in another indictment where the government aggressively sought the death penalty. In January of 2000, Pistol Pete, who is now facing charges for multiple murders, 5 attempted murders, 2 conspiracies to commit murder and narcotics trafficking, pleaded guilty to 6 murders. He was subsequently sentenced to life without parole in solitary confinement plus 105 years on November 8. In addition to the sentence, he was ordered to pay $25,400 towards funeral expenses for his victims. Pete was to serve his time in ADX, where all notable gang leaders get sent. In exchange for taking the death penalty off the table, Pete's outside contact was limited to his attorney and immediate family. He maintains that the only reason he pleaded guilty to the charges was because they threatened to arrest his mother for accepting drug money. By 2003, Pete had earned his GED in prison, an accomplishment that his supervisor believed should be rewarded with allowing Pete to be placed in general population, which he recommended. However, this suggestion was disregarded entirely, and Pete has remained in solitary confinement since his incarceration, only being allowed out of his box for an hour to work out and then being placed back for 23 hours out of the day. By 2006, Pete had wrote and, with the help of his family, published the novel Trigger from his cell. Although he created it, prison officials refused to allow him to have a finished copy of the novel. Since his incarceration, Pistol Pete's gang SMM continues to flourish to this day, with influence that spans to New Jersey and even as far as Georgia, where the crew continues to operate. Was Twin snitching, or was Pete jealous? Both things can be true, but our reporting shows that most of the SMM members snitched on each other, so what made Twin different? Nothing? He was a low-down lying piece of shit murderer just like the rest of his bitch-ass snitch-ass friends. Comment below if you'd like to see a video about what happened when Pipe was released from jail and assumed the position as the leader of Sex Money Murder, but was a confidential informant the whole time.